heard a whole lot of shocking with this one. Okay.
Paul.
Yeah, I know what your name is, Paul.
Well.
So don't shake your head. I'm still talking. That he had a date. I guess it was Dakia. I said, how did that go? And he was like, ugh. I'm like, something went wrong. He was like, eh.
So he said, eh?
Like, it wasn't pleasant.
He just told me he had a great day. Then can I interject just
well, actually,
okay, I will let that person.
Let me bring some more receipts. He was like, Jesus Christ. I need to be with a certain woman that looks a certain way. Yes, you said it. I don't want to think about how to get aroused.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sam P, and today we're going to review Ready to Love episode 10, and let's get right into it. We're back where we left on the last episode. Sabrina is letting know Tori and Pio what the ladies like about them and the things that she thinks they need to work on, and she ends up by eliminating Tori. I thought that Sabrina did a real good job at letting the guys know what the ladies like about them and what they think that they need to work on. Tori is taking the elimination really fair play. He's coming and he gave a hug to Sabrina. He's definitely acting better than Laverne. Good luck to Tori in the future. Next scene, we see Sabrina and Demetrius. They're touching each other, holding hands and talking. They're in the living room. And on the other side, we see Dakia, Joy, and Carmen that are trying to spy into what they're talking to each other. The conversation is a little bit tense because Sabrina wants to make sure that both her and Demetrius are on the same page and wants the same thing, that they're both very serious about the situation. She feels about the dating. Sabrina feels that they both need to be more proactive, and Demetrius is letting her know he's really serious about her and he really likes her. Sabrina still has her doubt. She's letting her know that she's still considering, Donovan, but Donovan and Demetrius are the two persons that are her main connection so far. Next scene, we see Carmen and Donovan in the jacuzzi, and I'm like, when did those two get so close? They're in the jacuzzi and they're really close to each other. They're touching each other. They're basically having, PDA, flirting, touching, and it looks like it's gonna get kinky. And they're talking and having a good time. I'm not going to lie to you all. I think that Carmen just wants to, and Donovan just wants some eyes. And I don't think they had time to build a strong connection, but they're already going physical. We've seen Carmen being very physical with other guys, and at this point, I just think that she just likes attention. Let me all know what you think in the comments. Next scene, we have Dakia and Clifton. Dakia is sitting on the couch and Clifton is coming and sitting with her, and he's letting her know that he apologized. He has not really had time to spend with her. Yeah, because you were focused on Joy. So he apologized about that. And Dakia is telling him that she's okay with the situation, but that she really would have appreciated Clifton to let her know that his connection with Joy is stronger than the one he has with her, because she thought that they had a strong connection and they were building something. So it was kind of hard for her to see him so close to Joy and not really giving her attention. And Clifton apologized about that, and then we see Dakia being sad. I felt so bad for Dakia. I really did, because I felt like she's been going through this process the best way. She's been very open and everything. But a part of me is like, man, Clifton and Joy have been so obvious that, I just feel bad for her, but I understand that she feels that way. And one thing I like about Dakia is her capacity to communicate so well. Next scene, we have Demetrius, Sabrina, and Joy. They are in the jacuzzi talking and having a good time, and then Clifton is joining them. Clifton is a little bit sad because he knows that he hurt Dakia's feeling. She kind of cried. She was emotional. I think that really touched him, which I think is good that actually it touched him. But as soon as he sees Joy, he's back being happy and bubbly. And I think that was the moment where he's making it clear that Joy is, his first choice. And then Joy and him, they're playing with Sabrina and Demetrius and trying to push them to be a little bit more physical with each other. It was a cute little moment between couple. Joy is elated. She probably knows that Clifton was talking to Dakia and that case is closed, and she's probably just rejoicing. At the end of that night, we see Joy and Clifton. They're going toward the room. They're making it clear that it's about to get sexy. And then we see Carmen and Donovan in that bunk bed. And I'm like, what? Really? They have a connection with Donovan, but I'm like, yeah, they're really like trying to make it. She's like willing to put Pio aside and focus on Donovan at this point, but oh well. Next morning, everybody's saying hi to each other. They're preparing breakfast, and then we see Miss Tina arriving, and everybody's like seeing a ghost. And it was so funny. She's like, hey everyone, coming in as if nothing happened. You know, she was just ready to like act like as if nothing happened. Then we see her talking to Donovan, and Donovan is basically trying to understand why she came in so late and what's going on with her. Does she still want to be part of the show? Tina is basically saying that she has not been able to build a solid connection with anybody. The person that she thinks she has a good connection with is Donovan. But a part of me is like, when Donovan was calling you, why didn't you pick up? Him calling you was evidence that he has interest in you. And you didn't even give him a call back or anything. You just pop in like nothing. So Donovan seems a little bit checked out. And he's asking her, do you still want to be part of the process? And she's saying she's not sure and everything. And I'm like, Tina, girl, if you're not sure, you should have just stayed wherever you were at. You know what I mean? What's the point? But she felt like she needed to at least come to Donovan because he was the person that she had the strongest connection with. But I'm like, you could have just given him a phone call at this point. Yo is like, he's done. He's not even trying to talk to her. Like, she's showing her face and he's not trying to talk to her. Which, honestly, I kind of understand because she didn't go to his date with Chill Bill. And now she's not coming. She's obviously not trying to get closer to Pio, and I think he got the message. So I don't really want to blame him on that. Everybody else is like talking about it, and a part of me is like, damn, you're like ostracizing the girl. Like, somebody go talk to her. And then next scene, we see Carmen actually taking the time to go talk to Tina, and Tina is explaining to her what she's going through, and she's letting her know that the only person that she really has a connection with so far has been Donovan. And Tina and Carmen is like, yeah, you know, Carmen, she don't like it when someone else is liking someone she likes. She's gonna start being spicy with you, like she's been spicy with Dakia. So yeah, so they get to talk, and Carmen is asking her, are you planning on staying? What are you planning to do? And she's saying she's open. And I'm like, Tina, just make up your mind already. You know you don't want to be there. You have your reasoning for not being there. And then she tells us in the confessional that the process has been more than what she thought it would be, and taking care of her business, taking care of her daughter, she's not 100% sure that she's ready to love anymore. And I'm like, okay, now we get to the end, to the conclusion. Yeah, you know you're not ready to love, and there's nobody that you really have a connection that you feel is worth fighting for. I think it would have been better if you could express that this way, Tina. Next scene, everybody is back in town, and we have two dates. We have Pio going on a date with Dakia. Dakia comes in and she's looking beautiful. Pio is complimenting her. He even had a red wine ready for her because he noticed that she likes a red wine. And Dakia really liked that. She really liked the attention that he's giving her. So they have a good time. They get to know each other a little bit more. Dakia tells him about her family. They also talk about the weekend, how the weekend went. And Dakia was like, well, the weekend was necessary because he helped her close the door with Clifton, and she is now fully aware that his connection with Joy is stronger than the one that she had with him. So she's over that. And then he asked her about her having, you know, a heart hurt, and she's like, yeah, like the reason why sometimes she has difficulty opening up is because she's been hurt in the past, and you know, it's made her a little bit more guarded. And I understand, especially when you're on a dating show, it's not gonna be easy to open up that easily. And Pio is giving her so many compliments. He's telling her that she's a beautiful queen, and he's really liking her. And honestly, Pio seems so genuine. And a part of me is like, yeah, those two could work. They could work. Let me all know in the comment what you think. Do you think that Dakia and Pio could be a thing? Could it work between the two of them? I think so. Next, we have Clifton and Joy. They're going on a date. and they're having a good time. They're reminiscing the weekend, and they're talking about how they really liked it. They talk about a lot of like TMI, such as some of them like maybe farting in the bed or something. It was kind of like those people, they really fit each other, and they're both saying it. Clifton says that he really has a strong connection with Joy. She finishes his sentence, they get each other like that, and it feels good. And Joy is elated, she's loving it. And they talk about the kiss they had during the weekend and the things that they did. And finally, Clifton is being clear that Joy is his first choice and only connection, and he's ready to go all in with her and be focused with her. Finally, I'm happy for you all. Scene. Everybody is meeting with Tommy for a brunch where they're going to recap their weekend. So they're all sitting down, and the first question that Tommy asks is, where is Tina? Tina is like Jasper the Phantom, y'all. She is nowhere to be found. Donovan proceeds to explain to Tommy what happened with Tina. They're telling him that Tina did end up coming to the weekend place, but she came at the very last minute, that they get to talk, and she doesn't seem to be ready for love. So Tommy is saying, okay, he's going to get to talk to her. Tommy then proceeds to ask Joy how was the weekend, and Joy is the bubbly self, happy self, telling everybody that she's very happy, that she's focused on Clifton, that they've been communicating about potential issues. And Tommy's like, what type of issues? And she said, yeah, trust, trust especially with exes and everything. And Clifton, is opening up. And Joy is like, you know what? She just wanted their relationship to work and whatever it takes, which is basically if she doesn't have to talk to the ex, she's not going to talk to her ex because a relationship with Clifton is more important, as she should. Next, Tommy asked Pio how has he been feeling, and then Pio is explaining that the process has been a lot of ups and downs for him. He first had a connection with Tina, but it didn't work out, then with Carmen, and then with Dakia. And then he proceeds to explain that Dakia and Carmen are two different ladies, but basically that Dakia might be a better fit for him. And he's explaining that he feels like Carmen was not as engaged with him. And I'm like, I feel different. I feel like Carmen was trying to get close to him, but it was always a physical thing. And maybe the problem is that Pio wants more than hug and touching. He didn't say it in the conversation, but a part of me is guessing that that might be what he's talking about. Let me all know what you think in the comment. And then Carmen proceed to basically talk about conversation that she's had with Pio, saying that Pio doesn't even really like Dakia, that he said that Dakia cannot really excite him, that she doesn't have the body. I mean, Carmen is going all in, finally showing the snake that she is in front of everybody. And we see Donovan looking at her like, oh, really? And yeah, and she's just going all in, and she's really being nasty. And Dakia is staying calm, and then she tries to interfere and defend herself and saying that basically since the beginning Carmen has not been nice to her because of the situationship with Eric, and she feels that she probably wants to get a vengeance on Dakia because Eric had to leave because of the situationship with Dakia. And I agree with Dakia. What would I believe someone that's from the beginning has been mean to me for no reason? Pio is looking embarrassed. He's like, that's BS, and saying all those things. But I'm like, there have to be some truth to it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't truly believe what Carmen said, but I do feel that there's things that you said that you shouldn't have said, Pio. So I feel really bad for Dakia. She already had to go through the situationship with Clifton. She has gone through the situationship with Eric, and now she had Carmen saying stuff that Pio might have said to her in confidence. That's a lot to take in. Honestly, I would have been tired. But she's taking it, like the grown a black queen that she is, and she's defending herself, and she's like natural over made up. Like, she's standing her ground, and I'm glad she did. Next, we see Sabrina. Sabrina is being asked about a different connection, and Sabrina is explaining that she feels that Donovan has not really had time to be single since he's divorced, and he may just not be ready to love. and she's explaining that Demetrius is a strong man and has a lot of qualities, but she's not sure they would be a good fit because she's not the submissive type of woman. And Demetrius is saying that that's what his friend said, but that's not who he is. Sabrina said that she feels that Demetrius is not really ready to open up totally, and Demetrius is basically saying, I want to open up to you, but I'm not going to be able to do it on camera. But Sabrina is saying, I want to know the real you before I decide to take a step and be all in. And I agree with Sabrina. That's the point of the show, for you to be open. And Demetrius is basically asking her to take a leap of faith on him. And she wants to make sure she's making the right decision. Sabrina is not 20. Like, she's a grown woman that knows what she wants. And she wants to be able to make a smart decision about a romantic connection. And I applaud her for that. You know, I feel like some people might think that Sabrina is being a little bit picky, a little bit complicated. And I'm like, no, she's being very honest. She's saying she's not the submissive type of woman. And that might be the type of woman that Demetrius needs based on what his friend said. And she knows that later down the line, they may not work. And she's afraid. And I think that's so fair. And Demetrius, I think, is trying to tell us that what his friend said is not who he is, but it's like, he is your friend. So now your goal is going to have to like prove to her that this is not what you're looking for. And maybe you're not doing that. And that's why she's not sure. And then you saying that you want to wait until the end of the show to be able to see the real you, that's not what Sabrina signed up for. So I hope that you're going to be able to understand her point, because I think that she's being very clear on the intention, and she just want to make sure that whatever she's going to get into is going to work, and she doesn't want to wait until after the show to know if it's going to work or not. I agree with her, because at the end of the day, the Ready to Love cast so far doesn't have that good of a resume. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that many couple that stayed together after the show, and she's really serious about it. I think that's the thing. Sabrina is really serious about it. And then Donovan is not happy with what Sabrina said, and he's trying to that Sabrina, she snapped at him and told him that maybe he's gonna be eliminated next. And she's like, I did not snap at you, I was just joking, we were just bantering, I never snapped at you. And a part of me was like, she may have been a little bit not nice to him because he was in the bunk bed with Carmen. And maybe Sabrina caught that, and maybe that's why she was maybe a little bit nasty to him. But a part of me was like, why are you waiting for Sabrina to say what she really truly believes of you to be able to say what she said? And then even if she said that, you're a grown-ass adult. If you're not going to be part of the show no more, then what? It's not like you're gaining money if you stay until the end. You know, so I felt like, Donovan, you were a little bit childish. And a part of me also agrees with Sabrina. Yes, you have connection, but you went on the bed with Carmen. You're being physical with Carmen. So obviously, for you, the most important thing is the physical part. You want to make sure that you'll be able to enjoy yourself. And you haven't been able to get that with Sabrina because she's not that type of girl. So in the meantime, you're going with Carmen. And yes, that makes you look like you're not that serious. I feel like I understood Sabrina. Let me all know what you think in the comment, but I really applaud her because she's going about it like very smart and intelligently. She's not going about it with her feelings. She's really trying to use her head, which I think is refreshing. Tommy is letting them know that he understands where they're going from, but at the end of the day, relationships are not easy. He knows that there's time where his wife doesn't like him, and he just wants them to stay open, and you know that everything will be okay. And he's also letting them know that he's going to talk to Tina. As seen, we see Tommy walking and sitting down waiting on Tina. He would like to know what's going on with Tina and hopefully come to a resolution. But Tina stood him up. Tina did not make it. And I was like, Tina, girl, at least with Tommy, like, have some type of respect, girl. Like, nah. I mean, at this point, I think it's easy to conclude that Tina is not part of the show anymore. I do feel like if you were able to drive to the wood to talk to everybody else, you could have met with Tommy in DC. Let me all know what you think. That's it, guys. That's it. That was my review for Ready to Love episode 10. If you're new in my channel, I invite you, too. And if you're not new and you've been following me, thank you all so much. I invite you to leave me some comments. I would like my channel to be a discussion where everybody can come and give their opinion and just have some banter. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all next week. Bye.